Hello and welcome to my video, 10 more lesser known cryptids. Number 10, the Beast of Gevaudan. In the summer of 1764, a woman was tending her cattle near a forest in Longun when this beast appeared. The bulls of her cattle drove off the creature twice, saving her life in the process. Not much after the event, a 14-year-old was killed by the creature around the same area. The beast was said to look like a wolf, but was the size of a cow. It had short ears, a long tail, a wide chest, and reddish fur that had a black streak down the back. Later in the year, many more deaths occurred because of the beast, and it caused widespread panic. The panic spread so far that the king ordered the beast to be killed. In 1765, the king's own lieutenant, Francois Antoine, killed a massive gray wolf, and it was reported to be identified as the beast. In December of the same year, the attacks from the beast started happening again. The final attack happened to a local hunter named Jean Chastelat, who claimed he killed the beast and stated he shot it with a blessed silver bullet, although no body was produced. Records vary, but some state that all in all the beast attacked 210 people, resulting in 113 deaths, with 93 of the victims being partially eaten. Number 9. Yobango. I was unable to find images of this cryptid, so I utilized images of what most people reported seeing. At the moment, there are only 2 reports, but I felt deserved a spot on this list. Just so it's stated, I will not have much information to share on this since I can only go by a couple accounts. A group of friends were driving home late one night and saw a creature standing in the middle of the road. The driver at first blew it off as a deer, but the passenger got a better look at it. He later drew a picture of what he had saw and showed it to his friend, who was the driver, to which he looked at it in terror and acknowledged that was in fact what he saw that night. It was about 4.5 feet tall, with huge black, as they say, soulless eyes, had long thin legs and shiny wings at its side. In a separate report, a brother and sister saw the creature in their backyard and added the description of it having blue skin with no fur and multiple sharp teeth. These reports are from last year, so we may be hearing more about this cryptid in the future. Number 8. Piasa. This cryptid is also known as the bird that devours men. This animal's picture was found on the cliffs of the Mississippi River near Illinois, painted by the local Native Americans. Along with this image were other paintings of horrific-looking beasts that resembled underwater panthers. In one account for this cryptid, it supposedly lived in the cliffs and would come down and devour the people in the nearby village. A chief by the name of Uittoga devised a plan to kill the beast from a dream he had had. He stood at the mouth of the cave for bait and had his warriors waiting in the bushes. When the creature attacked, his warriors were able to kill it with poisoned arrows, and the image found was made to commemorate the event. Number 7. The Tatzelwurm. Also known as the Alps dragon, reported sightings claim it lives in the European Alps. Descriptions vary, but a common thread is that it has 2 front legs but no hind legs. It's 5 to 7 feet long, has a tail like a serpent, and scales covering its body, and sometimes it's reported to have a face of a cat. It is said to eat cattle or even make its way to cemeteries and eat the dead in their graves. The first sighting happened in 1779 when 2 of the cryptids appeared in front of a man. He managed to escape to his home, but the event startled him so bad that he died of a heart attack that night. In 1828, a peasant claimed to have found the body of one, but it was too torn up by the crows feasting on the flesh. Sightings continued, and in 2000, the skeleton of one, along with a sizable donation, was given to a local Geneva institute. To this day, sightings have continued, leading many experts to believe that it may actually be an unknown monitor lizard that lives underground. Number 6. Mongolian death worm. It is said to live under the sand in the Gobi Desert and will attack people or animals that get too close to it. Many indigenous people have reported seeing the creature throughout the years and claim just touching the beast will cause death. It is said to be red in color, be able to spit acid from its mouth or electricity, and can range from 2 to 5 feet in length. The worm hibernates through most of the year and seems to be most active in June and July. When the creature is hurt, it will mold its skin, which serves as an exoskeleton. It can be seen traveling under the sand by the wave-like pattern it makes on the surface. These worms actually make me wonder if they inspired the creatures in the movie Tremors, or even the Sarlacc in Star Wars. Number 5. Atmospheric Beasts. Here is a bit of a strange cryptid that I had never heard anything about. People for years have been reporting UFOs in the sky that didn't quite fit with the common mechanical UFO idea. These creatures lived in the sky and were able to fly without wings and appeared to be somewhat transparent. Many believe that these creatures are of alien origin, but are not intelligent beings. It is said if one of them dies, it falls to the ground in the form of jelly that can take on the color of gray, purple, or green, and it disappears quickly. On a side note, I do seem to remember stories of people finding blobs like this recently, and they did evaporate quickly, and the stories had nothing to do with these atmospheric beasts, but it was still not able to be figured out what it was. Reports vary as to what they look like, but many say they resemble something you would find in the ocean, but more alien looking. Number 4. The Burrunjor. Apparently, in northern Australia, there lives a still living dinosaur that resembles a mix of a T-Rex and a velociraptor that's 20 feet high and 20 feet long. What a wonderful combination. Throughout the 1950s, cattle ranchers reported that this creature killed many of their cattle and left huge bipedal footprints. The Aboriginals also stated that the creature would eat kangaroos as well as larger animals. Famous Australian explorer Rex Gilroy presented a casting of one of the footprints of this cryptid in 1984. For thousands of years, sightings of this creature have been recorded, even as far as being found in cave paintings. What is interesting is the areas where this beast is said to roam are dense forests, and the Aboriginal tribes as well as the animals refuse to go into it. Now personally, I could see people being afraid of superstition, but the animals not wanting to go in, something isn't right in those areas. There is a report that in 1978, a bushman by the name of Brian Clark became lost in the wilderness. 2 Aborigine trackers, along with a mounted policeman, found him, and even with the trackers protested, they camped for the night. They awoke to hear the trackers screaming and grabbing the gear and running away. Clark felt the ground shaking and heard a creature huffing loudly as it approached. Both Clark and the police officer escaped, and when asked if the officer was going to include that incident in his report, he said, "No, no one would believe us." He further told Clark that if he went into that area again, he would be on his own. Number 3. Lizard Man. While many reports can be shaky at best, this sighting is a little bit more interesting since the evidence has been studied by biologists. In 1988, Christopher Davis stopped to change his flat tire. He started feeling easy and looked up to see a reptilian man standing on the road behind his car. Mr. Davis sped off and claims that the creature kept up with him until it finally gave up the chase. Many other reports came in stating sightings of the creature, as well as the strange claw and bite marks on the vehicles parked nearby. The police ruled it off as a bear, but were stumped when biologists examined the tracks and were unable to identify the 3-toed, 14-inch long footprint that they had cast. This cryptid is seen in Lee County in South Carolina and is said to be 7 feet tall, walks bipedally with 3 toes on each foot, is covered in dark hair, and has scaly lizard-like hands, feet, and face. Since the first sighting, many more reports continue to this very day. Number 2. Kaiaimunu. Reportedly, this cryptid lives in New Guinea and looks like a living dinosaur. For years, natives to the area claim to have seen this beast, but it really isn't dangerous since it's an herbivore. The dinosaur it is said to resemble is just an oddity in itself. This dinosaur is called the Therizinosaurus. They have a massive body, the head resembling a horse, massive arms 11 feet long with huge claws attached to them. Since the late 1990s, local people still claim that the creature roams their lands. Not much more information I have for you involved with this cryptid. And number 1, Berkeley Square Horror, the Nameless Thing. This creature, which was given the moniker the Nameless Thing, terrorized the building called Berkeley Square. At some point, the building was looked at as haunted, and many felt the area housed something demonic. Most of the stories report the entity haunted the second floor in the area called Building 50. In 1840, a 20-year-old by the name of Sir Robert Warboys decided to stay in the room, calling the spirit legend a hoax. Mr. Warboys entered his room with a cane and a pistol, and 45 minutes later a guard heard the pistol go off. The door to the room was broken down and nothing looked to be in disarray, but Robert's corpse was found in a corner with no apparent injuries, and a look of terror still frozen on his face. Years later, 2 sailors, Robert Martin and Edward Blunden, stayed in the room, and Blunden was awoke an hour later to see something gray in color with slimy tentacles crawling on the floor. He woke up Mr. Martin and grabbed his gun, to which the creature leapt and grabbed Edward's throat. Robert went running for help, and when they returned, Mr. Blunden's body was gone. His corpse was later found in the basement of the building. To this day, the first floor is a bookstore, and no one is allowed to go up to the second floor. With that, I will end this. I will see you in the next one. Be safe. Later.